You know, all that American stuff just doesn't do it for me anymore. I think I'm due for a change of scenery. Perfect. Welcome to Gothic, a junky German RPG from 2001. It got a massive praise over here in Europe and is considered to be a massive step in mending the relationship between Poland and Germany. The game is an allegory of post-Soviet Europe where if you even dare to raise a finger, you are going to get beaten up.
Welcome to the colony.
Hey, get away from the new guy. He's mine. Come on, get up. My name is Diego. Listen, I don't care who you are. Your entire gimmick in the entire franchise is to not have a name.
What are you?
I am here to recommend you to the old camp. The best camp in the entire colony. But I won't interrupt you if you dare to commit death by magic barrier. Oh, yeah. Also, don't forget that almost everything can one-hit you. So I would recommend you get something to protect yourself. Or deal some damage.
And thus the game begins. Not very towards our advantage, but don't worry, I am artistic, so playing Gothic and Gothic 2 is literally on my resume. And I know what to do, and hell, we will beat the game only using magic. Welcome to the Valley of Mines, the main setting of the game. It's a lot like Australia but in reverse. Whereas Australia is a wasteland filled with nothing but sand, Valley of Mines is just stuffed with content to the brim. For example, there's a fourth camp that, doesn't have any content outside of bandits wanting to game end you, but you can't deny that the greatest machinima of all time is set in this very camp. But yeah, outside of that, there are lots of places like this. Like those abandoned shacks that instead of wood sounds make grass sounds. Or the Misty Tower, which stars one of the most infamous quest lines of all time, if it comes to this franchise.
You know that quest where you have to pick up books from around the colony and as a reward you are going to get fuck all?
Overall, the Valley of Mines feels great to explore, even all those years later, with nothing keeping you out of exploring the endgame areas if you are cunning enough. But enough of that. Let's finally talk about the real stars of the world, the camps.
Hey, you're still alive! That's great, Greenhorn!
It wasn't really hard getting here. It was almost as if every animal I passed through got a lobotomy or something.
Ah, you get used to it. Limitations of the engine and all that. Anyway, I presume you want to join in, no?
Not really, I wanted to...
That's great! But before I take you in, you need to gain approval of the people in the camp. Talk to some shadows and do their quests or something. And when you're done, you can talk to me again. Oh, and a word of advice. Don't go south. The British occupy that land, and unless you want to get torn to pieces, don't go there.
Old Camp is the oldest, and the most powerful camp in the colony. It's divided into two parts, the castle where the leaders of the camp, the ore barons and the IRS reside, and the outer ring where diggers and shadows get exploited by the guards. The main objective, if you can call it like that, is to get to the crumbling castle, and in order to do so we need to get enough street credit on the people in the low income housing environment, and for it we need to do some quests for named shadows and Taurus. Everyone, he's just standing there. Anywho, we can do such amazing tests like grave robbing a dead guard for his amulet, buy a switch for a soy boy and not get scammed along the way.
If Diego should ask after you, I'll speak in your favor. Until then, have a good time.
Fight Anatoly Karpolov on the arena. Small correction, we can't fight on arena because magic isn't allowed on it. Talk about discrimination. Or learn how to be Romanian.
And this is our traditional way of working. We call it Chiki-Briki no Jutsu.
Once we are done with the quest, we can do 2 more things to get brownie points with the camp. We have to deliver a love letter from Diego to CryptoMine's manager, a shadow called Ian. This quest is kinda unnecessary, by the way. The other task is to get rid of the Mordrak, a courier of Smurfs, and to do so we can of course kill him or get him out of the camp under the pretext of wanting to join this community.
Well, here we are.
Welcome to This World's America, the new camp. Just as US historically, those guys valued freedom over everything, and one day just packed up their things from the old camp with Lee and Smurfs as their leaders and decided to hang around in a big ass cave. The most defining trait of the camp is that instead of trading crypto with the king, they will keep it to themselves because Smurfs came to a conclusion that a big enough pile of cryptocurrency will blow the barriers sky high. Lore aside, the new camp has been done dirty in this game. It has the least amount of quests in the first chapter, no wacky characters like Mud or Ball Netback, and worst of all the quests that you are given are incredibly tedious or uninteresting. Well, unless you count selling Swampy to every single person in the camp as peak gameplay, but then again, in that case you probably also like doing taxes. Welcome to the third choice, the Swamp Camp. And man, just by looking at it I'm already getting malaria. The Swamp Camp is led by Werner Heisenberg, who received some vision from a god called Sleeper and decided that the old camp is gay and went to the place that makes the most sense. Shrek's home, of course. Here worshippers are divided into 3 guilds. The novices who make drugs, the Templars who work as bodyguards for gurus, who are the spiritual leaders of the community. The additional gimmick of this place is that you can't talk to the gurus because you are not worthy, and instead you have to impress them first, like saying that the protagonist watched every single Pyro live slop, and as a result lost his mind. And also he converted into believing in Sleeper, however, that's basically the same as going insane, so yeah.
Ah! It's good to see you again, my friend. How are you doing?
I have been doing great, Lester. Thank you. I also started to play Genshin Impact.
Really? What made you do that?
I had a voice call with the resident Sleeper.
Really? What did he say?
He said, go to the Brotherhood and start making coke. And also play Genshin Impact.
You're lucky. Sleeper doesn't contact many people like that.